One of the ways we like to connect with the community, we give a lot of financial advice. We talk a lot about the real estate market. But, one thing that we really do have to remember is we are a community. I mean, everybody who listens to this show is a community. Our guests are a community. Everywhere that our guests, our airwaves go, whether they're on this channel or not, are a community. And it is so important to me personally, and I know to Heather and our station, to really be able to give back and connect people with what's going on, not just for their own personal gain and financial planning and real estate, but also for the gain of the community. Song joins us again, and, Song, well, first of all, it's great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
And, you guys, you just kind of got re-involved in the nonprofit world with the Michael Ryan Pattison Foundation. You guys have raised over $1.3 million and really provide specialized exercise therapy and ongoing advancements for paralysis. And, that's, you went from a private sector to the nonprofit sector. How did you end up kind of transitioning?
I guess just like anybody else, at a young age, I was inundated with a lot of volunteering opportunities. Family fabric probably has a lot to do with that, being involved in church and just kind of giving back to the community in one way or another, whether that's labor or, using something skilled as media technology, But the biggest thing is seeing a cause that I could personally relate to and speak to on a passionate level. I didn't want to just go into a cause that everybody else was volunteering for, but really to help a cause that needed a platform, a voice. And I met MR, and from then everything else is kind of history.
And so now you guys, you have the what's called the Give Big 2012 giving event, or that has happened.
Yes.
And how much money did you guys raise?
We ended up raising $1,700 from this Big Give campaign. We haven't got our corporate matches in right now, so we haven't reconciled completely, but I think it was great. It was our second year participating. We didn't use a lot of funds for promoting. We ended up reaching out, and last year I think we hit 200. So it's a big jump from last year, and just spreading the cause out there, letting everybody know that we're a nonprofit that's willing to partner up with other nonprofits and to spread the word of community out there.
And so you talk about, so when you raise this money, and I want to get into your big event here June 2nd, because that's something anybody can go to.
Yes, please do.
And we're going to get into that. But, so before we do, where does this money go that has been raised, that will be raised?
So currently, the foundation's been around for 5 years, and Ben, like you said, we've raised $1.3 million. Generally, that's been going into grants for specialized therapy research, as well as to the ongoing development of the foundation. We want to do a market study of the research that just happened in August that we just completed, a year-and-a-half process.
And it's all research towards paralysis.
Yes. So anything to do with generally the central nervous system. So not just with spinal cord injuries specifically, but you can TBI, MS.
What is TBI?
Traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
So it's anything to deal with long-term paralysis. What we like to do is give somebody that would normally not see progression in day-to-day activities a way to measure those activities, a way to show you, hey, you know what? Your stretches every single day are progressing. Your interventions that are happening during this time are showing positive results. And where are those positive results? When did that happen? 98% of interventions that happen in this paralysis happen at home. They don't happen in a doctor's office. By the time you get to the doctor's office, you're already healed, or you've already made that progression. So then how do they come back and tell you, well, at this moment in their exercise, you started getting improvement? We're just trying to give a way for us to collect that data, to give more data to this paralysis and to advance the technology. And
so, it's the technology that goes into this.
That's a little bit more above my head. I didn't go to medical school, so I can't speak to that. But just watching MR work out every single day, helping him with his bone density, just getting him to exercise, get his heart rate up, it gets away with a lot of secondary infections that happen for this paralysis. So, a common cold or a common infection can drive someone to the hospital. That's an ER visit. That's an average cost of $50,000 to $60,000 per visit. That's all state paid for and funded. So you can imagine how many times you would have to go per year. An average cost can be anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000 a year, just on an infection, a cold.
Yeah, it's a lot more than the $9 for Sudafed or whatever. So tell us a little bit about, there is a need. I think a lot of people, as I said, our goal is really we want people to know that there are good charities that are local. There are good places that you can give back, and you don't always have to give money. I mean, there's events you can go to, there's support you can lend. And one of those events is coming up June 2nd. Tell us a little, and we're going to be there. Heather and I are going to be there. The Seahawks are going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an exciting event. We've got a lot of great organizations that are backing us up. Like you said, the Seahawks, Brashenomics, 11:50 a.m.
There we go.
And the two girls down at Makers. Just a great co-op space, gorgeous space, a lot of, exposed brick. Very, very, I don't know, I would say kind of urban. Like takes you away from the corporate feel of kind of Bellevue. Let's take that. And so we're trying to have a good time, spread the awareness, spread the cause, get people to understand that, this isn't something that's, I don't know, unfathomable. It can happen to anybody. And we just happen to have a platform here in the Northwest that we feel like is being underutilized that we would love to spread the word for.
So June 2nd, and it's called?
It's the Seattle Seahawks present the second annual James Bond A Cure's Coming fundraiser. And we will be having hors d'oeuvres and drinks served all night. We'll have a special guest appearance by Todd Stablefelt, as well as some of the Seahawks members.
And maybe Seagulls?
Maybe the Seagulls, maybe even Blitz. Who knows what they're going to bring.
Like anybody cares about Blitz if the Seagulls are going.
Hey, exactly my point. So the Seagulls
For those of you who want to bring your kids to a cocktail party, Blitz will be there, right?
There you go, exactly.
And it starts to make giving kind of fun. I mean, I think I've seen this over and over, and we've been involved, is that a lot of these events that are starting to go on, it's kind of taking people out of the social media world, which people kind of get caught up in, and it's putting them back into the real world. And it seems to be kind of that next progression where you can find things, and opposed to just liking it on Facebook or, sending your little text message for $10 to the Red Cross. I think that garnishing just human support for a lot of these causes, whether you're giving money or not, but just showing up, is as important as even giving money.
I would say as important, or if not more. Right. I mean, you definitely want to try to create as much momentum as possible. I mean, the more people around your cause, just the voices alone will generate more revenue than anything else. So, I mean, we're trying to educate people while they're in the room. Let's educate you on really what it is about spinal cord injuries that makes it so difficult. Why do you need to donate to a cause like this? And how do we, gain more momentum as you get more educated? We would love the skill labor or the skill, is in social media, the way that you tweet and Facebook and all this great stuff that's going on in the media space. But I mean, how do you really get something to be personal? I want you to come out, meet us, get to know us, shake our hand, have a drink, have fun. It's not just about the money, but it's also about having a good time doing it, because healing isn't just about the body. It's about the mind and the spirit. So it's really the holistic view of that allows you to.
And nothing gets people going in the holistic sense like a party.
Exactly. Right. Just wrap it all up.
Wrap it all up. And, it really is, I've used this term human support, but it's kind of something that's been taken away at some level.
Yeah.
There was actually a good show, I think, on MSNBC or one of those shows on Facebook. And they talked about how, all of a sudden you have 1,000 friends, but you end up spreading out, your friendships so thin that sometimes you forget about the really important friendships that you do have. And in this case, this allows people to kind of bring some of that back, some of the real personality back, because, you're more than the form you fill out to, male, single, married.
Exactly.
On those websites.
I could call myself a little bit more old school. So, I'm a sit down handshake kind of guy. And I think that makes it more personal than any Facebook tweet that you can make or a shout out. You write me a handwritten letter, or you come in and have lunch with me. I mean, we're going to be friends for the rest of our lives.
If you write a handwritten letter, you will be one of a very, very. Do you get handwritten letters?
Not anymore, but I've been starting to do
But if you do,
yeah,
you got a friend for life.
When's the last time you got a handwritten letter?
Never.
Couldn't
even tell you when I got a handwritten letter. I mean, in years.
I'd be
from a pen pal in like 3rd grade, I think.
Even the wedding invitations aren't really handwritten anymore. I mean, there's no signature; it's all printed.
Yeah.
You want me to come to your wedding, and you're giving me just this
really, really expensive invitation you didn't even handwrite. Sung, we have to go to break, but certainly June 2nd. And how do they find out more about it?
You could visit acureiscoming.org. You can visit our Facebook site at the Michael Ryan Pattison Foundation Facebook page. You could also check my Facebook page or MR Pattison's Facebook page as well.
Heather, what's up?
Oh, nothing. I was just, you guys were making such an interesting point. I wanted to chime in. You're talking about how people get so disconnected. And one way that I think where Sung's doing such a good job is by bringing people together, not only to learn more, but, by forming that personal relationship, people are really apt to learn more about the cause and want to participate because they feel more involved. And I think one thing that you hit on briefly that I wanted to go into a little bit more was the astronomical cost that people living with these sort of injuries have to deal with. You mentioned just the hospitalization for a common cold, but the overall cost, a lifetime is in the millions.
Yes, definitely. So, at the age of 25, if you're suffering with this problem, a lifetime cost of just healthcare, not even living costs, could go up to anywhere from $3 to $4.5 million. Mm-hmm. That's just on your healthcare. That's not going out and buying food. That's not buying clothes. That's not, just your general average expenses. So you can imagine who makes $4.5 million a year or in a lifetime these
days. The Seahawks.
Maybe a Facebook IPO. I don't know, but
not anymore. I think it's way down again, isn't it today?
Well, right. And that, in that 24-hour period, going from $200 last year with a big give to $1,700 was a big jump. And that was one day and that was all online. But this event, I think, is a great opportunity for people to give even more and create a bigger momentum because it obviously takes a lot of events throughout the year to keep the funding for, this kind of thing going.
Definitely. It takes a lot of work to fundraise. You nailed it right on the head. It's, a lot of our operating expenses go currently right now into continuing to raise funds for this process and our cause and getting them in a room. Last year we did 17,000 with 220 people. This year we're trying to fill it with 400 and we're trying to go for 30.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about how this year's event's going to be different from next year's.
Well, this
year's is different from last year's.
I guess last year, the biggest point from last year is just to get the awareness out. Let's get them in the room. We had more of an open door kind of policy last year was hey, just come on in. Have a good time, visit, the foundation, get to know what we're doing. But this year, we've started gaining a lot of traction in the last year that we've been doing social media as well as going out and outreaching and meeting individuals is now we're going to educate you on exactly what it is that we do this year.
Yeah.
We're not just going to say, come in and have a great time, which we're going to do, but we're also going to show you exactly how to help out, where we need the help, and show you the need of exactly what it is that we're doing.
Exactly. And there's so many options for people, honestly, nonprofits and places you can give. So that's why I think it's so important to get people personally involved and realize where there is such a need. Before really reading your website, I had no idea the astronomical cost someone living with a, spinal cord injury would endure. And it's just like, oh my gosh, where's all that going to come from?
Exactly. And that's kind of a daunting thing to think about. But what we like to do is, that's 300 million people that live in the United States of America. Yeah. Let's take it here. Let's start raising some money. Let's start gaining awareness and spreading the cause throughout the nation, not just regionally, and getting people know. There's multiple foundations out there on the East Coast as well as down south that are advocating for the same cause. And we're just trying to create another platform here in the Northwest and join together for the same cause.
Yeah, and it's bigger there over on the East Coast, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The modality, the care over there on the East side is definitely more prevalent. You have more resources. It's a little harder out here in the Northwest.
Absolutely.
So how do people get involved then? June 2nd is the big part, is the event.
Yes.
How do people get involved?
So right now we're looking for volunteers and we're always looking for new committee members. So you can email me at sung@acureiscoming.org personally if you want to volunteer for the event.
It's on our Facebook page also, so they can reach out to you that way.
Definitely.
And tickets, where they can find tickets and more information?
All of our tickets are going to be sold right now through Shindig. So they're all linked on shindig.com, and it's
Is that like the new Ticketmaster?
I think that's the new brown paper tickets.
Yeah, if you go to Facebook, you can find the link to Shindig. I know that, but it's going to be fun. It's at Makers. There'll be Seahawks there. You'll have appetizers, drinks. What else we got going on? Raffle prizes.
We got raffles. We got some amazing raffle prizes that are coming out. We got games to the Seahawks. We got a foursome to Okie Golf up in Newcastle. We got tickets to Diamond Club down in the Seattle Mariners. We have $100 gift cards to so many restaurants in Bellevue. So all the people in Bellevue, I know it's a little difficult to cross the bridge, but we would love your participation this year. So
take the I-90 and save yourself the toll.
Oh, the toll's going to come up when Heather talks about
when I'm on the air.
Yes. You pay the toll every day, don't you?
Almost
every day. At least on the way into Kirkland, I would imagine.
Well, I have the. It's
like a private freeway, though. It's actually not bad. So hey, It's easy.
For one night out of the year.
They can do it. It'll be the non-peak hours. It's not that bad, guys.
Yeah, we truly appreciate it from the Michael Ryan Pattison Foundation.
Yeah, Sung, thanks so much for joining us again. You can find out how to participate more from our Facebook page, and maybe we'll see you June 2nd. We'll be there. Will you? Oh, it costs a lot of money when if you're paralyzed. It's not a happy thing. It's sad, and certainly we want to be able to help them as any way we can. And it's not something you can always control, it's not something people choose. It's something that happens. And, let's hope that, we can all support more and more and more. When we come back, a lot of things do cost money, and a lot of people need to figure out if it's the right time for them to start saving more money. Should you start working with a financial planner for your own goals? My name is Ben Brash, and Jeff Kapp, good friend of the show, is coming up next. You're listening to Brashenomics.